The land known as Diné, about 60 miles west of the Rio Chama Valley, was the traditional Navajo homeland during the Spanish colonial era. In the 1770s, Spanish expeditions began targeting Navajo settlements in the Mount Taylor and Chuscar mountain regions. This sparked a cycle of conflict and uneasy accommodation that would shape Navajo relations with Europeans for the next century. When the United States took control of the Southwest after the Mexican-American War in 1846, a new and difficult chapter began. General Stephen Kearny's occupation of Santa Fe brought the Navajo into direct confrontation with American forces. That same year, Colonel Alexander Doniphan negotiated the Treaty of Bosque Redondo with Navajo leaders, aiming for peace. But the agreement failed to stop clashes between Navajo communities and American settlers. The most devastating period came in the 1860s, under Brigadier General James Carleton. His plan was to remove both Navajo and Apache peoples to a reservation at Bosque Redondo in New Mexico. In 1863, Colonel Kit Carson carried out scorched earth tactics, destroying Navajo crops, livestock, and homes, even poisoning water supplies. By 1864, nearly 9,000 Navajo were forced into what became known as the Long Walk, a brutal 300-mile march to Bosque Redondo. Conditions there were horrific. Food, water, and shelter were scarce. The water was alkaline and made people sick, crops failed, and tensions grew with the Mescalero Apache, who had also been relocated there. The Navajo call this time Nahonjo, the fearing time. By the late 1860s, it was clear the Bosque Redondo experiment had failed. In 1868, the Treaty of Bosque Redondo allowed the surviving Navajo to return to part of their homeland, laying the foundation for today's Navajo reservation. Life after 1868 brought new struggles. The U.S. government pushed policies of assimilation. Boarding schools, beginning with Fort Defiance in 1870, were designed to strip away Navajo culture. Children were forbidden to speak their language or practice their traditions, and many endured harsh discipline, poor food, and separation from family. The trauma of these schools left lasting scars. The 1929 Miriam Report exposed these abuses and called for reforms, but assimilation policies continued. In the 1930s, the government's Navajo Livestock Reduction Program struck another blow. Officials, fearing soil erosion during the Dust Bowl, ordered the killing of huge numbers of sheep, goats, and cattle. For the Navajo, livestock was not just food, it was wealth, status, and identity. Women, who traditionally owned livestock, were hit especially hard. Despite strong resistance, the program continued into the 1950s, deepening mistrust of federal policies. World War II, however, became a turning point. About 400 Navajo men were recruited by the U.S. Marine Corps to create a code based on their language. This Navajo Code was never broken by Japanese forces and proved vital in battles like Iwo Jima and Okinawa. For decades the program was classified, but in the 1960s the Code Talkers finally received recognition for their critical role. The Navajo are the largest Native American tribe in the United States, with over 350,000 members. Their heritage connects them to ancient migrations from Siberia across the Bering Land Bridge during the last ice age. Genetic and linguistic evidence shows their ancestors came from the subarctic regions of Canada and Alaska, eventually reaching the Southwest around the 1500s. Their paternal lineage is dominated by haplogroup QM242, which occurs at exceptionally high rates among the Navajo, over 90%. This suggests a strong founder effect in their migration. On the maternal side, lineages are more diverse, reflecting intermarriage and cultural exchange with Pueblo and other southwestern peoples. These maternal haplogroups include A2A, B, C, and X2A, which trace both to their northern ancestors and to local populations. This genetic blending shows how the Navajo adapted to their new homeland while maintaining ties to their northern origins. Most Navajo today live in Arizona and New Mexico. Their language, Diné Bizaad, belongs to the Athabascan family and remains one of the most widely spoken Native American languages. The word Navajo comes from a Spanish term meaning farm fields, but the people call themselves Diné, meaning the people. When they first arrived in the Southwest, the Navajo lived by hunting and gathering, but soon adopted farming from their Pueblo neighbors, growing corn, beans, and squash. Spanish colonizers introduced livestock, which quickly became central to Navajo life. By the 17th century, trade with Pueblo peoples was flourishing, with the Navajo exchanging meat and hides for crops and woven goods. Navajo society is organized around clans, inherited through the mother's side. This matrilineal system determines family ties, social responsibilities, and marriage rules. Traditionally, property like livestock and land passes through women. Families lived in hogans, round or hexagonal dwellings built with doors facing east to greet the sunrise. Central to Navajo belief is the concept of hojo, living in harmony, balance, and beauty. Their creation stories tell of emergence through earlier worlds into the current glittering world, where balance between the physical and spiritual is essential. 4 sacred mountains mark the boundaries of their land, each tied to colors, directions, and spiritual beings. Ceremonies, often involving sand paintings, songs, and chants, aim to restore harmony. The night chant, lasting 9 days, is one of the most elaborate, combining healing with cultural preservation. Today, the Navajo Nation continues to face challenges, balancing modern development with cultural traditions. Diné College, the first tribally controlled college in the U.S., symbolizes this effort, blending cultural respect with modern education. The Navajo language remains vibrant, with over 150,000 speakers, and traditional arts thrive. Navajo weaving, famous for its beauty and craftsmanship, and silver jewelry, such as squash blossom necklaces and concho belts, remain powerful symbols of identity. The Navajo Nation stands as a strong example of self-governance. While issues of economic development, education, and cultural survival remain, the resilience of the Diné, the people, ensures that their way of life will endure between their 4 sacred mountains.